Former George Bush White House ethics lawyer Richard Painter is running as a Democrat for Al Franken's old seat in Minnesota. Now, this story is incredible for a number of reasons. First, here is a obvious conservative, or at least one-time conservative, Richard Painter, running as a Democrat. That's a news item on its own. But also, when you dig down into his announcement, Richard Painter might be a progressive, and he may not even know it. So I'm going to get to that part. First, let me show you this his clip of his announcement.
We need to stand firm against what President Trump is threatening to do to our country. And the only alternative this fall is going to be to vote for Democrats. The Republican Party has demonstrated that it's not willing to participate in our democratic system. The Republicans insist if you're going to run for national office, you must be loyal to President Donald Trump. 2 Republican senators have been pressured out, sitting senators, because they would not support Donald Trump. This is wrong. This is not the America I want to live in. This is not the America I want my children to live in.
So Richard Painter hates Donald Trump. That has become obvious. So Richard Painter has been all over television on MSNBC, on I think probably CNN. I saw him on Bill Maher once. So here's a guy who is, he's part of the hashtag resistance. He is a once Republican, now trying to push back against Donald Trump. But even it goes farther. So I thought this was going to be a story about how there's sort of this battle right now between, or there's this battle on the Democratic Party side between corporate sellouts and progressives. So people like, Nancy Pelosi versus actual progressives like, I was going to say Bernie Sanders, but he's independent. Actual progressives like Elizabeth Warren or, Ro Khanna, people that actually represent real progressive values versus corporate sellouts. I thought that's what this story was. I thought Richard Painter was going to be one of those corporate moderates, the people that come from the Republican side that are very pro-business, pro-establishment. But I came across this clip, and now I don't know what to think. So watch this.
I'm against what President Trump is doing and what his collaborators are doing. It's not just about President Trump. It's about what's been going on in the Republican Party for decades. You have this religious right that is willing to put our democracy at risk to accomplish their agenda. And that was a problem before President Trump. So there's a lot that I'm against and I'm worried about in this country. But I'm for America. I want to protect our natural resources. I believe we need to extend health care to every single American and health insurance to every single American. We need to regulate the banking sector. Now, I'm not against banks.
Okay. Not only that, let me read this quote that from twincities.com, where I couldn't find a video of this, but apparently Richard Painter also said this in his announcement. Pledging to accept no money from political action committees, Painter criticized both parties for a lack of attention to ethics and campaign finance reform. This is crazy. Crazy in a good way. But I'm still trying to understand if he's the real deal here. So the whole Bush ethics lawyer thing throws me off. But looking at these issues, so in the video, he talked about how he wants to protect natural resources, which, I assume means protecting the environment. He wants to expand or extend healthcare insurance to every American. Now, how you do that without a Medicare for all system, I don't know. So clearly he's talking about some sort of public-based healthcare system. And then he discusses how he wants to regulate the banks. These are progressive issues. And then he talks about how he doesn't like the religious right and they took over the party, the Republican Party. These are issues that we're talking about. And that combined with how he's not accepting any money from PACs is a pretty big freaking deal. And he's criticized how both parties have not paid attention to ethics and campaign finance reform. So this is huge. Now, again, I'm going to have to wait and see what ultimately this all means. If Richard Painter actually is fighting for these things, or if he's just going to play this progressive game to try and get some voters in Minnesota from Al Franken's seat. It's unclear right now, but this is the kind of guy, he comes off as the kind of guy who's not going to bullshit. He's going to tell you what he actually feels. So I'm curious what's going to happen next. If the party's going to endorse him or if they're going to endorse somebody else over him in that seat. We'll have to wait and see. But so far, this looks pretty good. And this has not turned into the story that I thought it was going to be. This is actually a former Bush ethics lawyer that is potentially fighting for progressive policy. Hey, if you like this video, hit that subscribe button below and consider throwing me a few bucks on Patreon at patreon.com/therationalnational or therationalnational.com/join.